seems like there's a consensus among established journalists that the current model has failed, and it's just a matter of time. Here in Halifax, obviously, with the Daily News folding, cuts to the Herald, and so on, we know that it isn't working.
So our media world is shrinking and shrinking, even though they say in the internet there's this 1,000-channel universe. But what we find is that there is less local news, there is less information, and as members of civil society, without that information, our democracy is in jeopardy.
Basically, the vast majority of media in Canada is owned by a handful of corporations, and so we're getting a very narrow perspective of what's going on in the world.
And then you also have the idea that, well, if we're bigger, we're going to be better and provide more information, but what they're doing is they're laying off people, they're closing down operations.
In Halifax, we have the Chronicle Herald, which has just announced $1.5 million in cuts. They're going to have to cut a quarter of their newsroom. And the Daily News folded last year, which was the only other newspaper in Halifax. So the question is, if the media is dying, what are we going to replace it with? Because it is going to be replaced by something. And for example, this is what the Daily News was replaced with, right? Mm-hmm. If we have newspapers folding, something is going to come in to fill the void. And the question is, what is going to replace it, and who is going to be in control of what replaces our media?
A lot of the reason there has been the downfall in print media is because of the rise of digital media, and so I think it is the locale for future media. And so I think by creating models and where that can be decentralized and community based is very useful.
I mean, there's a real hunger. I think there's a real hunger out there for independent media, for another voice.
We're here in Halifax to set up a democratic, reader-funded media co-op. That's grassroots, that's participatory, that's local, and that's not funded by advertisers. It's funded by the readers, and it's actually controlled by the readers as well. So the idea is that we have democratic media coverage that talks about the things that are really important. The media co-op consists of several working groups, so you can have working groups based on a particular theme, like environment, labor, First Nations, and anybody who's interested in that theme can get involved, and our on-the-ground organizers are going to reach out and go find the people who know the most about those topics, recruit them to join the working group, and then they'll form the sort of basis of informed articles about that topic.
What really interests me about the Halifax Media Co-op model is the institution at the end of that rigorous process of having a professional journalist involved, so that you get the fact-checking and actual research and investigative reporting.
I think there's huge potentials for video and television journalists to use online and community systems to get more voices out there in Canadian journalism. The idea of using web conferences, for example, video chat, all kinds of things like that are, I think, really exciting.
We're informing people about what we're doing. We're asking people to get involved. We hope to get people involved from all sectors of society.
We're planning on opening a co-op in Vancouver by the 2010 Olympics. After that, Toronto, Montreal, and then we'll move on to other communities. And we've been producing the Dominion both online and in print. And it's been distributed across the country. We've had independent journalists submit articles from around the world.
Coming up with a workable model for online news of any sort is something that so many people around the world are trying to figure out.
Wrote a business plan and created a 5-year financial plan. So we've thought a lot about the specific numbers, how many numbers of sustainers we need. What we're working on in Halifax right now is building up a base of sustainers. And we want to have 50 sustainers for year 1 and 100 sustainers for year 2. If we can get more than that, then that would also be great, because the more sustainers we have, the more we can do.